It was the first weekend in August, and I was hiking through a section of the AT with my 16-year-old son. I needed an excuse to get him out of the house, away from the screens, and we thought that backpacking overnight in the Mahoosics was a good idea. And it was the second day, and we were hiking down. He was really far ahead when this thing happened. I was coming down a rocky ledge, and a thru hiker, she was coming up. And I thought she had plenty of room to pass and stay safe, but I could tell by the look on her face that she was in distress. And as she passed, she yelled, "Climbers have rights!" The words didn't make sense to me right away, but the feeling was clear, and I stopped, and she stopped, and rather than feel angry or embarrassed, I just felt so tired. I could tell by her face that she was expecting a confrontation, but that didn't happen. Something just softened between us, and she just started to apologize. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I think I know what she meant. I feel as though my patience for myself and for others is just frayed thin. Even grocery shopping feels like entering in a combat zone. Early on in the pandemic, when Hannaford first taped those green arrows on the floor, I overheard a giant of a man telling a bunch of other customers about a confrontation he had had with another shopper earlier in the week. I guess the other guy was going the wrong way down the aisle, and the giant flipped over his cart. Oh, in the paper, there was a story about a man who pulled a gun on two shoppers in a grocery store. I guess something about masks. People have been shot at and tear gassed throughout the summer protesting racial injustice, but the rest of us, we're getting into shoving matches over deli meats and pandemic etiquette. It just all feels so brittle. If it hadn't been for COVID, I would have been in play rehearsal for Shakespeare's play Winter's Tale instead of hiking that weekend in August. The last time I took a bow was 3 years ago, and honestly, I didn't think I'd be back. Theater is exhausting, it's time-consuming, it's difficult, and I have always thought about quitting every year. This summer was supposed to be my last attempt back in, see if I still liked it. Play rehearsals are this intense, weird, intimate process where you spend hours and hours and hours together with strangers in a small room. And you start off as strangers and you end like you know them better than your own family. And in that time, you do all these things like you hug and you kiss and you shout and you touch each other and you dress and undress. And it's all these things that frankly feel radioactive to me right now. She's right, the thru hiker, you're supposed to step aside for climbers. It's like trail etiquette, kind of like the green arrows on the floor of Hannaford. I didn't know that. I'm glad I know it now. I'm really sorry she felt like she had to apologize. We're all doing our best. And honestly, nobody knows what they're doing. Not really. Maybe that's the thing I miss about play rehearsal. It's chaotic, you stop and start, all that stuff, but at its core, when you can put aside your ego and your fear and your need to be heard and the need to be right, when you can put all that stuff aside, even just for a moment, and you just get present with these other actors and with your audience, when you can just let go and connect, something beautiful happens. You create something, you collaborate on something, and you can actually connect with another person's heart. Maybe that's the thing that I miss about theater, and the thing that really is what theater is about, is like this knowing your own heart and connecting with another person. I don't know. Maybe I miss it more than I realize.